Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Roll call, please.
These chairs.
Trustee Osterling,
Present.
Trustee Martin,
Present.
Trustee Chin-Lao. Here. Trustee Wang,
Here.
Trustee Kwong,
Here.
Trustee Gibson,
Here.
Trustee Silver,
Here.
Student Trustee Bradley.
Thank you. Public comment on closed session.
Yes, there is one public comment. Mistress Shinaganaga.
All right, good morning. I'm talking about the agenda item F2, which is the financial aid, professional development, something like that. I'm here to talk about the accountability, the verification, enforcement on fraud. So I visited the financial aid office several times because I need my eligibility for my food stamp, CalFresh. So I visited the financial aid office several times. And what I see is something that is very concerning to me. But for you, maybe you believe there's no issue, but for me, there's a big problem. I see students getting in line in front of the financial aid office. They are using iPhone 15 Pro Max. They are talking about how fancy the feature that have. And then we look up the price of that. Starting, it's $1,199, go all the way up to $1,599. They're talking about the fancy charger, fast charger, the case, the earphone, the Apple Care Pro Plus, and everything. We're talking about more than $2,000 value. At the same time, they're talking about they just need their financial aid check to cover that. I see students wearing the Air Jordan 11, and then I looked that up online. The minimum $500 for a pair of that kind of shoe. And then the most expensive one can go all the way up to $10,000, $25,000. I see female students with backpacks has the Coach logo on it, Louis Vuitton logo on it, Dior, Prada. Those are $500, $1,000, several $1,000 backpack. At the same time, they are waiting for the financial aid to cover for those finance purchases. I really don't understand why PCC has a system that reward laziness. Those students who refuse to work, refuse to get a job, who continue to live with parents forever, continue to have like zero income, and at the same time they got a full financial aid. As a hardworking American student, what they do, they got a 2 or 3 part-time job. And then when they apply for financial aid, their income is too high to qualify for financial aid. I want to know that from what time the American value, the American culture, the PCC value, the PCC culture starts to reward the laziness, the slacker student who refuse to be independent in the Pasadena City College. For me, as an independent investigator, that is not okay. One of my classmates, Anna, she finished work at 1 a.m. Her class starts at 7 a.m. At the same time, she needs more than 2 hours to take the bus for commute. I want to ask you, how many hours of sleep can she have? And I also want to ask you that,
Thank you for your comment.
Any further comments?
No.
Great, thank you. Okay. Item C, recess to closed session, reference to item number 1, Government Code 54956.8, conference with real property negotiator. And we will recess now.
Jose's? Guess that's Jose's.
We are reconvening from closed session. Okay. There is nothing to report. Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Chen Lao.
Here.
Trustee Gibson.
Here.
Trustee Kwong.
Here.
Trustee Martin.
Here.
Trustee Osterling.
Here.
Trustee Silver.
Here.
Trustee Wang.
Here.
Student Trustee Bradley.
Okay, very good, thank you. The land acknowledgement, Trustee Wang, please.
Sure. Pasadena City College is a learning community within the indigenous homelands of the people who have been known as the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians of the Shishikwanga Village and Quiche Nation. Tonight we acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this land on which we gather. We also honor the legacy of the African diaspora and recognize that the United States, as we know it, was built at the often fatal expense of forcefully enslaved black people. We are indebted to their labor and the labor of many black and brown bodies that continue to work in the shadows for our collective benefit. PCC and its faculty, staff, and students recognize that we are all simultaneously teachers, learners, and guests on these lands. This acknowledgement is a small part of an ongoing process of working to raise awareness about histories that are too often erased or forgotten, to recognize our place in this history, and to affirm our commitment to social justice, systemic change, and anti-racism. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Pledge of Allegiance, Trustee Martin.
If you'll please rise, place your hand over your heart and join with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Any reordering of agenda items? Very good.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, all, Trustee Bradley? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Number 6, any introductions and recognitions? Very good. All right, public comment on non-agenda items.
Yes, we have one public comment. Mistress Shinaganaka.
One quick question, one more thing, because my professor didn't get a chance to sign up the paper today. Is that okay? I can sacrifice 1 minute of my time to give it to my professor. Is that allowed?
Yes.
Sure.
3 minutes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so please stop me at 2 minutes because I give my professor 1 minute. Okay, good. So first of all, let's talk about Gina Lopez. The Academic Senate president, first of all, number one, she removed the speakers. She removed all academic senators to make a public comment. And then, I'm not sure how do you look at that. I look at that as a disgusting and despicable attack on democracy. Number two, Gina Lopez decided there's no more video recording, there's no more video live streaming for the academic senate business, regular business meeting. And then this is another typical Gina Lopez trying to do business behind the closed door. I am definitely not surprised by that. She's not here today, but I really want to tell her, I really want to ask her, do you understand the meaning of shared governance? Shared governance doesn't mean that you share your power with your Amir Walker, and then Amir Walker shared the power with Gina Lopez. That's actually called a corruption. Number three, Gina Lopez continued to talk about she is voted democratically by all the faculty members. And then when I take a look at the fact, all of the adjunct faculty does not even have a chance to vote for her. That's obviously that she eliminated everybody who doesn't like her out of the voting process. This reminds me one of my favorite president, President Jones, that the first email she sent it to me that apply to serve Public Safety Advisory Committee. And then the second email she told me that, you know what, we have an eligibility requirement. Then she made 100% sure that I do not qualify for any of the membership qualification. This is the same thing. Gina Lopez is doing the same thing. And then most important, for the past academic senate video, Gina Lopez continued to use the language trash, garbage, refers to her colleagues. And then seems like everybody are okay with that.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
appreciate that. You were my student a couple years ago, so it's nice to see you again. Anyway, thank you. I know I have a minute. I came in a few minutes late and I couldn't get to here. But just really quick, it seems like I'm just going to piggyback on what the former speaker just said. I'm also concerned about the fact that they've stopped recording their meetings. It makes it harder for faculty to participate, to know what's going on, and for there to be a record. Also, they've been evading, the Executive Senate have been evading scrutiny, violating the Brown Act public meeting laws. You know that I've sent you a cure and correct email earlier this semester about meeting behind closed doors and not advertising their meetings. They've been squelching dissent as well. If you watch the meetings from last year, like March 27th, that was horrific, what
you.
happened there.
Thank you for
now
your comment.
they're trying to shut down a newsletter that's going out to all faculty. Thank you.
Any more?
No.
Okay. Item number 8, approval of the minutes of the regular business meeting, number 4, September 6.
Motion to approve.
Okay, student trustee?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Number 9, approval of the minutes, Board of Trustees special meeting, number 5, September 16th.
I'd like to make a motion to approve items 9, 10, and 11, so minutes for the trustee special meeting 5, 6, and 7.
Okay,
Second.
all right, trustee Bradley?
Aye.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Number 12, any board committees reporting out? Okay, none, all right. E1, approval of the consent calendar F1 to H27.
I have a motion to pull the I think it was on the contract log for discussion, please.
Which one is it? Is it
26?
H26.
H26? Could you read that out, just so I know what you're referring to?
So H26 is the contracts, ratified contract log, and I would like to pull that for discussion for items on the capital lay projects.
Okay, all right.
Motion to approve the balance of the consent calendar, items F1 to H27 minus trustee Chen Lao's pull.
Second.
All right, trustee Bradley?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, none opposed, motion carries. Let's discuss H26.
On the contract logs, on the overlay, there were multiple contracts, a total of up to $36 million for facilities measure PCC. And I'd like to have that be discussed as we go into our measure PCC bond program.
Go ahead, yes.
Trustee Chen Lao, how about we prepare a presentation for the Facilities Committee and also the board at our next scheduled Facilities and Board of Trustees meetings?
That would be terrific. And the reason why I thought that this was important is because we're seeing some big ticket items that are coming up. And I know that Vice President Jones has been preparing that. And I think that it will be important for the board to take a look at the entirety of projects that are going to be listed that are coming up, especially now that we have a new Facilities Committee chair and committee members that we can review and discuss these numbers or these budget numbers and project numbers at the committee level before it comes to the board, knowing that this has come to the board in April and July, but we have now different committee members.
Is there any, is there any deadline for approval of these contract items? Is this urgent? That's what I'm asking.
Not having the staff augmentation, so the 3 areas which are around project management services and our inspector services would put us behind. I am happy, I think that Dr. Gomez's recommendation of us doing sort of a holistic review at our next facility subcommittee is certainly appropriate. We can include those items as a part of that piece. If possible, I would like to move forward with them this evening with the explanations related to that work, but those pieces are staff augmentation pieces, not project-based work.
Could you explain what that means? Staff
Yeah.
augmentation pieces?
Yes, so staff augmentation is when we get additional expertise and add that to our facilities and construction services staffing. So around project management pieces, of course, I have professionals on site who help manage projects on a day-to-day basis, but we, because of the number of projects that we are going to be going on, currently we have the Octagon Gym going on, we have work that's starting on the mirror pools and other sort of project-based pieces that will come to the facility subcommittee as well as to the board for final approval, pieces related to the budget areas. Those pieces need to sort of, there are additional oversight in the running of those projects that we don't then absorb within our facilities and construction services area. So that's one piece. The second two pieces are around inspection services. So all of the work that has to happen has to be resubmitted to our Division of State Architects, so DSA approvals, to make sure that the work that is happening on campus today is actually meeting the standards. So those staffing agencies help to support our facilities and construction services area to do that work so that those projects continue to work or move efficiently and quickly through. We have work that's going to start in our C building, some room renovations, and then the second piece around, so there's DSA and then architectural design services. So those pieces are anytime there's something bolted to the building or anytime there's work, there are staffing resources that are helping to get the projects to sort of the final pieces and design pieces rather than leveraging our internal staff. So the three items tonight, if you see them, they're also three-year pieces. So for the project management services, the up to amount for each of those contracts per year is $2 million. So that's $6 million over a 3-year period, up to $2 million. And we may not use those pieces. It's more of sort of like an encumbrance. So we have it earmarked, but those funds can be reallocated at your discretion at any point. The inspection services are $500,000 a year, so each of those contracts is just being opened for $1.5 million per firm. That can, again, help us, but it's a $500,000 a year sort of contracting services.
Okay. Trustee Wang.
I mean, I certainly recognize the importance of this, and I don't oppose this tonight, but I think because when we open the contract log, and it is quite a number to look at.
Yeah.
I think in that next follow-up, I think it'd be helpful to kind of get a sense of like, okay, per year, what are the things this would go to, and how much would that cost based, like a little bit more broken down. But that would be really helpful. But aside from that, I totally understand why we're here today.
And we can absolutely do that, and we'll prep that in our November meeting.
Thank you.
So I do see that it does go till June of 2026, so it is 3 years.
Yes.
And I understand that this is a staff augmentation piece. These are current projects for which you need additional supplementary services for completion. And if it comes back on the November 15th board for approval, you are still operating in a timely fashion such that your deadlines are also being satisfied. Is that correct?
If you all want us to move to the November 15th, that's totally, like, we're okay to do that. We would have to adjust some of the timelines because some of those services, like our DSA inspections, we have projects that need that work now. It would just push us till November 16th, which is the day after.
Yes, Trustee Chen Lau.
I have a follow-up question, excuse me. I see that there are 4 DSA inspectors on this, and each is $1 million 1.5, so altogether, you could see where my question is. Can you explain to me why we have 4 DSA inspectors, each at 1.5 million?
It's a great question. So the way in which we think about the amount of work that has to happen on campus, not all firms, because they're servicing other institutions and entities from K-12 to other community colleges and other 4 years, and there are times in which they are committed to other projects. And so having a pool of folks that we can go to that may not be overcommitted, because our goal is, in all of these firms, as they're working with other constituents and other clients that they have a amount of resources available to them. If they're all allocated, let's say, to another institution, I won't say another institution, but another institution, then they're not able to focus on our priorities. And the goal of us having a pool of people is that we have, flexibility in who's available and who has the appropriate skill set to do that particular job and work.
Yes, Trustee Osterling.
Thank you. I'm going to suggest on an ongoing basis, it makes sense to separate out monies that we spend towards our facilities from monies that we're spending out of our operating budget, have it be a separate agenda item. And I would ask for a recommendation from the Facilities Committee about what size of contract merits being on the consent calendar versus what size of contract we should be approving as a action item.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your answers.
I do have one more comment to add.
Sure, please.
Which is, I do appreciate the work that Dr. Gomez and your team has done in terms of ensuring that the vendors meet or at least try to fill out our DEI form so that we know which firms are minority owned, which firms are owned by veterans, women. And I think that that's important that we continue to monitor vendors who are working with her certainly within the context of the law, of what we can ask for. So I do appreciate, Dr. Gomez and your team in ensuring that this information is communicated and distributed to the board. Thank you. That's all from me.
Okay, very good. All right. We look forward to hearing more next month. Okay.
So are we going to vote on this one then or not?
I think they're going to send it back to the Facilities Committee for discussion, unless you would.
I think we still need to vote on it.
I think,
Yeah.
I think we're giving good direction, but I don't want to slow anything down or make them have to redo a timeline. Let's get this one through and wait and get that follow-up.
Why don't you make that into a motion?
I'd move approval of, what was it, H27?
H26.
H26?
I think that what Ms. Jones was referring to when I asked about the deadlines was the actual inspection. The deadline that would be affected is the inspection. So if anything, maybe it would be the approval of the DSA inspectors only so that you can have your inspection.
I apologize. There's work that's going on both the project management side and the DSA inspection side that could be impacted.
So is there a second to the motion?
I'll second Trustee Martin's motion.
Okay. Trustee Bradley?
Aye.
Okay. All in favor? Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. Okay. Item F, consent calendar.
Aye.
Number 1, student leadership retreat.
I think we're on aye.
What, are we on F?
No,
No, we were.
Well,
we're on I,
I think
personnel.
Did we
What?
vote on
now
all
we
of
vote
it?
on everything except H26.
I think we already did, didn't we?
Yeah.
We already did that.
So we're on personnel.
I thought we
Consent-
handled yours
F.
first.
We did that.
Did we vote on everything
Did we
else?
vote on the consent
Did we?
calendar
On
yet?
Yes,
Yes.
I
It
moved
happened
it.
so long
Oh
ago,
my
I can't
goodness.
remember.
Sorry.
Okay, so we're on
Okay,
the
item
personnel.
I,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
All right, approval of the consent calendar, items 1 through 5.
I'll move to approve the personnel consent calendar I2 to I5.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Okay. So we have an action item on Resolution 787, and we have a presentation by Alex Buckelheid.
Good evening. I have no graphics to share. This is just to explain what this resolution will do. This is a very standard routine resolution to put the election in March on the calendar and to ask the county to handle the logistics of running that election. Upon your approval, this measure will have it be that seats 2, 4, and 6 for the trustees will be put to the voters at the March election. The second resolution, if I may, 788, is similarly a routine resolution related to candidate statements for that election.
Okay. Any questions? Yes, sir.
My question is why we even need to have a resolution and approve it, because I thought this was mandated by the state.
That's a good question. The county requires us to pass a resolution and transmit it to the county to make sure that they will run the election for us. So this is just keep the paperwork straight.
Formality. Okay, thank you.
Yes,
I do think that this opens up the question. I mean, certainly, I'm going to move to approve this resolution today, but that the primary elections are on different months. So for presidential primary elections, the election for PCC 246 is in March, and for primaries that are with the gubernatorial primary, those are 1, 3, 5, and 7, and those happen in June. So it really changes the way that we do our reorganization meeting, because the board officers that are in place in this year do not have the full term of 12 months. They're really going to serve 9 months before. And
I'm aware of
we
that.
could take, yes. So, and then, so we can certainly take this up, as the next, probably at a future agenda item, if we want to look at how we can ensure that all the board officers or our terms are going to be in the full calendar year.
Okay.
If I may, I recommend a recommendation that you return that to the policy subcommittee, because it's written in the bylaws about
Yeah.
how these are all handled, and you'd have to go through policy for that.
Yeah, I certainly,
Yeah.
I know that, I understand, thanks, I chair the policy committee.
great.
But what I wanted to convey today was that there is going to be that issue, and so that we know that once we put this on the calendar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Thank you very much for your information. Okay.
I'll move to approve action items J1 and 2, resolutions number 787 and resolution number 788.
Second.
All right. Trustee Bradley?
Aye.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Number 3, nomination of Trustee Bradley for the Association of Community College Trustees, Student Trustee Advisory Committee.
I move we approve that.
Second.
Okay. Trustee Bradley?
Aye.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous, motion carries. Number 4, approval of the MOU between Pasadena Area Community College and CSEA.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good, motion carries. Adoption of the Education Protection Account funding and expenditures. Okay,
Move to approve.
okay,
Second.
okay. Trustee Bradley?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good, motion carries. Number 6, approval of the additions, modifications, deletions to the credit and non-credit curriculum.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, Trustee Bradley?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Superintendent's report.
Do you remember where you were on March 18th, 2020? At PCC, the college was beginning the first day of remote instruction. Classes had been canceled 2 days prior to help faculty prepare for the transition to teaching courses online. The Board of Trustees were meeting in this very room for what would be the last in-person meeting for nearly 2 years. The very next day, Governor Newsom would issue a stay-at-home order as COVID-19 cases continued to rise, marking a key milestone in the start of the pandemic that would change all of our lives in so many ways. During that meeting in this room, on March 18th, 2020, the Board of Trustees voted unanimously to approve the college's educational master plan. The plan emerged from extensive participation by stakeholders across the college and by the board of that time. The plan, now known as the College Strategic Plan, has been continuously updated through a comprehensive system at the college in the years since. But as we know, we are living, working, teaching, and learning in a much different environment than we were in March 2020. The context in which the strategic plan was drafted is a snapshot of higher education, of the higher education world that doesn't exist anymore. With this in mind, the Board of Trustees discussed at our October 6th retreat a desire for the college to revisit its strategic plan. I agree. This is a pivotal moment for us to reflect on our past and re-envision the future of PCC as we enter our centennial year in 2024. The next 100 years will be much different than the last 100, and very different from even the last 3 to 4 years. And we need to prepare for that future. Over the next year, we will be spending quite a bit of time and effort laying the groundwork for a new strategic planning process and furthering the board's strategic goals, the goals that were approved at the end of last academic year. We will be providing more updates and opportunities for participation at upcoming board and the various college meetings as part of the shared governance process. This next year will also be a time of celebration as we prepare to mark the centennial of PCC. We are diving headfirst into our planning process and are beginning conversations with the board and college stakeholders to make sure the centennial is a truly special celebration. There will be many opportunities for students, faculty, staff, board members, and community members to provide input about the centennial in the coming months. As we look toward the future, though, it's important to pay attention to our current environment. As we know, enrollment has become one of our most significant challenges at PCC, as it is across higher education. I'm pleased to report that our enrollment numbers are continuing to improve. As of this week, our FTES figure, tracking full-time equivalent students, is 8,256, which already surpasses our final totals for the fall of 2021 and 2022. Our headcount numbers are also well above last year. Our headcount is up 9% from fall 2022, and our FTES are up nearly 7%. And we expect those numbers to continue to grow as we continue to receive data about our non-credit courses and also the courses that started late in the semester. Next month, we will be presenting a strategic enrollment plan to the board for the trustees' input and advice in line with one of the most important goals of the board, which is focusing on improving student enrollment and access. This past month has also been an exciting and busy one for the college. University Day on October 4th was a great success. The event provided an opportunity for students to connect with representatives from colleges and universities across the country to learn more about academic programs, admissions, and financial aid. More than 1,100 students participated. A representative from the Ivy League said, "This, by far, has been the busiest fair we've attended. We had hundreds of students visit our table. It was great." Congratulations to Tamika Alexander and the team at the Transfer Center for a wonderful event. And as you all know, just last week we rededicated the administration building in honor of Jack Scott. Thank you to all the Board of Trustees for attending the ceremony and to President Kwan for sharing wonderful remarks. I know Jack and his family really appreciated the honor. PCC also hosted a solar eclipse viewing event this past Saturday, led by Professor Maria Okunakova. The event included a brief lecture on eclipses and viewing through a solar filtered telescope in glasses. In fact, our very own Trustee Silver attended the event, and I saw photos of her wearing some stylish solar shades. Thanks for participating, Trustee Silver. This week is also Undocumented Student Action Week, and our Dream Resource Center, along with the California Community Colleges, are hosting virtual and in-person events to provide important information for supporting our undocumented students. You can visit our events calendar on our website for more information. We're also looking forward to hosting the HBCU Caravan next week on October 24th. This touring college fair connects PCC students with representatives from historically black colleges and universities, giving students and their families a chance to learn about these four-year options. This is the second year in a row that we have been selected as a host site for the Caravan, and we're one of only 11 institutions in the entire state that were selected. Next week, PCC will also be hosting the annual Future of Work Conference, spearheaded by the team in our Office of Economic and Workforce Development. I'm looking forward to moderating one of the panels with our mayor and learning more about how we can better align community colleges with workforce development. Registration is still open if you all would like to attend. And most importantly, I am pleased to announce that the Associated Students have elected a president for the 2023-2024 academic year. President Wayne Schroeder, who's here with us today. Congratulations. I, and I'm sure the entire board, are looking forward to working with you, President Schroeder, in the coming year. PCC is also continuing to find ways to align with another of our board's goals, which is improve the services we are providing for students as well as to support their academic excellence and success in and out of the classroom. Recently, we formally accepted a $3 million grant from the U.S. Department of Education Title V program in pursuit of our Upreach program, which is a fantastic name for this program, which stands for Unifying PCC's Resources to Empower and Accelerate Completion for Hispanic Students. The 5-year grant will help us expand our services to students. We also had several students publish papers in the Journal of Advanced Technological Education. The journal is a peer-reviewed technical journal produced by the advanced technological education community. The students received academic publication experience and the chance to add a citation to their CVs. They were supported by our faculty, including Professor Jared Ashcroft in our Natural Sciences Division and other faculty as well. This is a wonderful opportunity for our students who normally would be graduate students or doctoral students getting these kinds of publications or citations. Finally, soon you will be hearing from Ernesto Partida. Are you here, Ernesto? There you are. Who will be presenting about PCC's recent celebration of Latine Heritage Month and other important initiatives, such as our intention to seek the Seal of Excelencia. The Seal of Excelencia is a prestigious national certification for higher education institutions who demonstrate through data, evidence-based practices, and leadership how they are intentionally serving Latinx students. These efforts build on the trustees' goal to enhance diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in the PCC community. This work has been and remains a truly impressive undertaking, and I'm excited to have Ernesto share some of this with you later. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Item number K2, presentation on Latine Heritage Month.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Ernesto Partida. I have the honor and the privilege to work on this campus as a student retention specialist. I'm also the president of the Association of Latino Employees, but I also support a lot of our HSI initiatives on this campus, and I'm proud to be part of that team. So I wanted to come and share some of the things we've been doing, and as you're getting your jerseys from one of our events that happened on Sunday, I hope you all enjoy them. They're pretty awesome, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. It's important to recognize that while there's a federal designation for this month and supporting what the federal government knows as Hispanic students, we want to recognize our Latinx community. Here at Pasadena City College, where we extend that past the month, right? We still have things going on through the whole month of October. One of the things that happened at the last board meeting was passing the resolution of 738, which was really focusing on several things that you'll see in this presentation that I want to share with all of you. First, a little roadmap of what we did. Robust menu of events that our students participated, and I saw some of you present. Thank you so much for being there. Our mixer that happened on Thursday, September 14th was widely attended in a small hour where we had over 200 students attend, and really just shows kind of our campus community and really lively, especially coming back from a pandemic, that they want to be here and they want to definitely engage with faculty and staff across the campus. The other thing too that you'll also see is that we are using the word Latine, right? And it's really just the usage of it is to move into the Spanish pronunciation, but also to continue to expand the inclusivity of our intersectionalities of the identities of our students, right? One of the things also is looking at the next event, which is our Pasadena Latino Heritage Parade, where Pasadena City College really put community in community college. And you see different pictures, a different presentation or representation that was there, from our Pasadena City College Lancer Marching Band to our color guard students, staff, to have over 150 members there, including Lancelot, as you see with Dr. Gomez on the bottom left, right? It's really impressive to see our community saying, wow, Pasadena City College is here. I went there. These little comments as we were walking by throughout the parade. With the leadership of our Prente project, artist Julio Salgado was able to come to our campus community and talk about his experience as an undocumented queer artist and activist, sharing his story through education from being a community college product, but also speaking to how his life experiences showcase in his art. It's really great to see and have that dialogue with our students. Another group, and this is another event that they are leading, called Queer Chata, that's coming up at a future date. Definitely would like to put this on your radar to come out to attend. Our other group that many of you are familiar with is our Student Advisory Equipo, which is a group of Latin student scholars focusing on different things. And this month in particular, they're focused on building community, supporting the Latina student voice, and fostering leadership within their peers. Led by Dr. Desiree Suniga, they held various workshops shown from the Plática series that focuses on various topics, including those that speak to Latina students, study halls that promote academic success in various locations of our campus, but also focusing on our HSI identity as our campus, as you can see by the mural on the right-hand side. Future events that, again, you are all invited to. It is one that will happen next week. Yes, next week, the 25th, called Cumbiaton. If you ever learn or hear the word genre of cumbia and you always want to know more about it, come out and share a little piece of history, but also a DJ set by Cumbiaton founder DJ Sizzle to be able to kind of engage and be one with our community. Hope to see you all there. The other one also with this student advisory equipo is also changing kind of the superstitions, folklores, and Dia de los Muertos that's coming up. Spooky season is around the corner. So really having that conversation too and really having the student piece there. One thing that was mentioned in resolution 738 was our Latina student lancers breaking barriers and uplifting their communities. And as such, we saw this collaboration across our success coaches, the Small Business Development Center, career counselors, and the Robert Freeman Center for Career and Completion. As you can see on the pictures, Freeman Center partnered with success coaches to provide coffee and career and coffee chats for our students. There's a woman-to-woman series that offers a safe space for students on campus for women of color to share life experiences, have a voice, build relationships, and feel empowered. Another panel called Empoderando Students, which is empowering students, translation, brought students from professional world. How does that look like in education, law, and engineering as a working professional? And lastly, the entrepreneurship panel featured Latina entrepreneurs who share their inspiring journeys and career advice with students that happened in this very room. Lastly, we had a presentation from last Friday from Mr. Moises Almendares from Hartnell College, a leader in HSI work and initiatives at the statewide and national level, to come and share what Hispanic serving institutions are, why they function, and what they should be doing to create an impact. And this is something that was taken from Resolution 738, which I refer to a lot because it's something that said, we are not just enrolling, we are serving the Latina student population. This workshop really shined a light that colleges cannot and should not just rely on grants alone, but also have to do with combined efforts across the college. By doing that with their IEDJ department as an example, we're definitely making a difference. So what's next? And Dr. Gomez mentioned this a little bit, is that we do have a new HSI grant, the Outreach, and we're also thinking about we're working towards, I'm thinking about, we're the Seals of Excelencia, but another part is also centering this work, HSI advisory group. What does that mean? That is bringing different voices from different pockets of our campus to be able to come together and support our efforts as a Hispanic serving institution. And that is all for me. Any questions?
Can you tell us more about DJ Sizzle?
Yeah, DJ Sizzle is a well-renowned artist who has been leading this cumbiaton, and we actually had the DJ in the pandemic, but it was virtually, so it wasn't in person. Yeah, October 25th. Join us.
We have a question from Trustee Chen Lao.
Yeah.
Ernesto, as you and your colleagues coordinate these events and do your engagement, what do you see as the response from the community, in particular the Latin community out here in the district? And what more improvements do you think are needed in terms of further engagement?
So I don't want to speak for my colleagues, but one thing that I can share is definitely where students see their voice. I will give you the example of the slide that our student advisory equipo did. That Somos PCC spoke to many students. You've seen our shirt that says Somos PCC. A student mentioned to me earlier that they were somewhere not even remotely close to Pasadena wearing their shirt, hey, I went to Pasadena City College. So we're really creating that visibility for students, but also, again, going back to the intentionality of what an HSI is serving the student. We're speaking to the student that we're here for them, and we're really focusing on that student centerpiece of the work that we do at the college.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Any other questions? Very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And lastly, all that shirt you got was from the Classico partnership that we had, which I hope all of you wear, because one of the things that we had on there, it was a big piece to speaking to the HSI community, right? It was our Latina, it was a sponsor, it was a Spanish-speaking promotion that we did, and I think you'll see that shirt, the jersey, you'll see it on there. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you. Very good.
May I just say one quick comment?
Yes, one
So the
comment.
last shirt that I got like this, I wear it occasionally to play pickleball. Now, I'm not saying I'm a great pickleball player, but I will tell you that whatever day I wear that shirt, I'm always playing my peak game. It has to be something with the shirt. I'm just saying, because you dolled it all up for us, right, with the name and all that kind of stuff. But whenever I'm in that shirt, man, I'm on my game, as good as it gets. So I'm thinking really great thoughts about this shirt. Maybe the next level.
Yes,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Gomez.
Yeah, Trustee Martin, will you be wearing that shirt while you're dancing to the tunes of DJ Sizzle as well?
You will, yes.
The only thing more humorous than watching me play pickleball is watching me dance.
We can help. We can help.
I think we've seen that.
I'm afraid what people would say if they saw me dance.
Okay, item K3, a non-credit presentation.
And I do want to take those classes for dancing for sure. Definitely DJ. My name is Francisco Suarez. I'm the Dean of Non-Credit, and today we're here to just really provide you an insight of what's happening in that division, some of the successes, some of the challenges as well. Not everything is perfect. But before we dive into the presentation, I'd like my team to introduce themselves. I brought the leadership team, the 3 department chairs. Unfortunately, one of them couldn't make it, but I brought the other department chairs. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mariela Baldo, and I'm the department chair for the non-credit CTE, the older adult program, parent education, and disabled student programs. And I need one of that shirt for my pickleball game.
My name is Liliana Martinez Kaufman. I'm the department chair for our adult basic education program, adult high school diploma, and GED programs, and I can't hear the word DJ Sizzle without smiling.
Hi, I'm Ashley Mejia. I'm the Director of Student Services for the Non-Credit Division.
Great, thank you. So let's get started. I wanted to provide this overlook for everyone to understand what are some of the programs that are encompasses the non-credit division at the Community Education Center. So we have 4 columns, and you can identify the first column, the adult secondary education and adult basic education, entails 3 programs, which is adult high school diploma program, the general education development and high school equivalency, the general education development, also known as a GED, and adult basic education. On the second column, we have English as second language, but it's not just ESL classes. We do have other type of ESL classes that we call VESL, or vocational ESL, which encompasses 2 programs, childcare and also healthcare. We have the regular and traditional ESL classes, and also we have a path to citizenship courses. In the career technical education, we have the computer classes, graphic design, as well as the legal, medical translation, medical front office, and basic bookkeeping. This just gives you an overview, what are some of the programs that we offer. On the next slide, we wanted to disaggregate the data to see what encompasses, what are the demographics of our students participating in our programs and courses. As you can see, it's a little dark. Hopefully you can look better on your handout. But the bottom part, it has the blue is the year 2021. The orange is 21-22. The light blue is 22-23. And the yellow will be 23-24. You will notice on the asterisk on the last academic years, because we're still in progress. So this is just the numbers as of right now. We can see that the majority of our students, or demographics of our students, are Asian, and also Latinx or Hispanic. And the reason we also disaggregate this data is because it helps us to identify resources that we need to bring to our site. For example, we have brought in professional experts that are bilingual on Mandarin speaker, because we have a large Mandarin speaking population. So this kind of gives us an idea what kind of resources, or what allocation do we need to do to better support our students and really enhance our programs. It also helps us to identify marketing techniques.
For example, having to the flyers translated into Mandarin, Spanish, or any other languages. Currently, we have an influx of Russian and Ukrainians. So those are some of the things that help us identify what are the resources needed for that particular program and how we can better serve our students as they come in and we provide that, be able to provide the customer service as deserved. As we move to the next slide, the head count, I wanted to share that we provided 4 academic years, same academic years that I just mentioned, 2021, 21-22, 22-23, and 23-24. When I first arrived to PCC in 2022, I was given the task of really look at our enrollment. We needed to boost our enrollment, but also the reason being because we're coming out of pandemic. That was the first few months that we're coming out of pandemic. So when I arrived, I created a marketing task force where all constituencies were on the table, providing feedback on various marketing techniques that were done in the past that didn't work, but perhaps now we can give them a different twist and it will work better, or new ideas for marketing and be able to reach our community. So because of those efforts and collective collaboration from the staff, faculty, and administration, you can see the trajectory of our enrollment. The reason I did a comparison between 21 and 22 and 22 and 23 is because, like I said before, 23 and 24 were still in progress. So you can see that those 2 academic years, we increased about 78% of enrollment. And that was just a collective effort. Not that I was leading the effort, but it's not just a credit for me. It's the faculty in the classroom, the staff in the offices, professional experts providing the customer service. Moving on to the next slide on enrollments. And enrollments are really considered the number of classes a student enrolled in. For example, one student may take 2 classes. That will count for 2 enrollments. So you can see that also there was a jump right between the 2 academic years, between 21-22 and 22-23 of 85% increase in enrollments. The trajectory looks like we are going to surpass that. Right now we are at 88-26, and we're only on the first part of the fall semester. So we're hoping that that continues to go up. And like I said, this was really anecdotally we can say that this growth is due to the marketing efforts, one, the collective collaboration among the faculty and the staff, but also the robust schedule that we have created. We have weekend classes, we have twice-a-week classes, we have also 4 days a week, only Saturdays, only evenings. So we do have a robust schedule that have facilitated students the accessibility to the courses when they need it and the time they can come and take the class. The modalities also have impacted the enrollment. We have courses that are hybrid, solely online, asynchronous, and face-to-face. For the most part, our students are inquiring about face-to-face courses. The other slide I want to share is we wanted to disaggregate also the data by program to understand which are the programs that are mostly enrolled or most enrolled in, rather, and we can see that ESL is by far the most enrolled program on our site. Secondly will be the high school diploma and also business. Now these 3 programs are considered enhanced funding programs. So these have helped us also in identify resources, especially spacing for classes. ESL classes are in high demand right now. So we're trying to figure out ways that we can support our students. We have scheduled classes here on the main campus as well, given the fact that we have run our space at Foothill. So that's a good problem to have, but that's one of the challenges that we're going to continue to have, and we're going to continue exploring other alternatives that will facilitate enrollment in the community.
Excuse me, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that the students that are taking these classes prefer face-to-face instead of online, correct?
That is correct, yes. For the most part, our students are looking for face-to-face courses, yes. Okay. On the next slide, we're talking about FTEs. This year, we have a target of about 1334 FTEs for the year. So it looks like we will be reaching it. As you can see, there was a growth between 21-22 and 22-23. So based on this trajectory, it's likely that we are going to reach our goal of 1334, especially the pressure that we have, right? The non-credit, we have to wait until the end to get a positive attendance. So there's no pressure, but we are definitely working hard trying to collect as many hours as we can possibly can, not only from the courses on our site, but also the courses off-site. We do believe that non-credit should be in the community. We have to have that access to students, academic opportunities for students. So we are seeking partnerships in the community where we can take the courses and remove the barriers for students. Instead of taking a bus or driving themselves over to our site, they could have the class right in the backyard. So we're trying to expand on those partnerships as well. That leads me to the next slide on partnerships. On working with the community, we have been able to reach various sites that have expanded our partnerships for our programs, or the sites have heard of our programs and they reach out to me to really get their courses at their site. These are just a few of the sites that we have currently established strong partnerships. One of the sites is Huntington Hospital, which my colleague will explain a little more about it. The Pasadena Altadena Coalition of Transformative Leaders, Santa Anita Racetrack, and South Pasadena High School. These are just some of the sites. We have many other sites where we're offering courses, because like I said, we believe that our courses should be in the community. We should provide those courses to the community, access to those students that are underrepresented, that may not know about our educational opportunities. So this will be a great way for them to learn about educational opportunities by having the courses near their home, their school, or perhaps, you know, they drop off their kids and they want to stay at the school to take a class. So we're looking into all those alternatives. But now I'm going to let my colleague talk about how we're meeting the needs of that community by offering the courses off-site.
So that's the beauty about non-credit, that not only we're providing them with the language skills that they need to succeed, either in school or work, or the technology skills or the workforce skills, so they can come to us, but we're out there in the community. So as you see, those are some of the sites. We also have a Villa Park, and also we have an older adult program that we're at 5 sites, and we're looking, getting more instructors so we can expand that. And also, we're training from 0 to 100. Did you know that? We have a great parenting program where we train the parents and come with the children. And we have even a pre-K program. So we're coming to them. But the Huntington Hospital is kind of a special one because we're going to their job to train them with the language skills and technology skills that they have. So we're out there meeting the needs, and we're looking forward to growing and being out there more and more every year. Thank you.
A really quick comment about the Huntington Hospital. They reached out to me about a year ago that they wanted to provide training to their employees because they believe that employees should be moving up the ladder within their own company. So they wanted to provide the opportunity to their employees, and that's how this partnership came about. So currently we're offering 4 classes, 2 ESL courses, and 2 keyboarding courses, hoping that the students in the spring semester, that cohort will move on and complete the Windows course so they can get a Chancellor's Approved Certificate on computer skills. The other great program that we launched about a year ago with partnership with Muscatel Middle School at the Rosemy site, thank you to the collaboration of Dr. Torres Retana and her team, based on that particular pilot program, the Math Academy, we decided to expand it to the entire community. We knew that there was a need in the community. And so the intent for the Math Academy was really to provide access to those students that perhaps their parents are not able to afford a math camp or private math tutoring. So we wanted to really reach out to the underrepresented and low-income communities for their kids to have the opportunity to participate on these math courses. So because of that pilot, we expanded to the community where we're intentional on marketing this Math Academy. It was a great success, which I'll let my other colleague talk about the Math Academy, and at the end I'll come back and give you other successful stories.
So in the spirit of welcoming community to our Community Education Center, our Math Academy goal was really to increase access of our Math Academy summer program to middle school students throughout the community surrounding Pasadena. And we offered courses that are already approved to be offered in our adult high school diploma program. which include Math Basics, Pre-Algebra, Algebra 1A, Algebra 1B, and we offered these classes both in person, and then to meet the demand, we also offered some online with synchronous classes. About 94 students participated, and here you'll see a breakdown of the different ethnicities that participated. About 36% were Asian, 25% Latinx students, 4% white, 5% identified as 2 or more races, 3% Black, and about 26% did not respond to that question. The participants by gender were very similar. About 50% male students, 48% female students, and 2% declined to state. And, students came from, definitely from the Pasadena area, but there were also students who came as far as from Los Angeles, from El Monte, to participate in our program. In terms of completion, 91.7% of the students who participated in our Math Academy received a passing grade. Our Office of Institutional Effectiveness conducted a study of the possible implications of PCC's Middle School Math Academy, and based on their study, our non-credit Summer Math Academy can be an effective means of achieving success because it could be a useful means of review and preparation for students who want to take a transfer level math sequence in college. So we're reaching these young people, at a really critical stage. And while our initial goal was to provide access to the surrounding community, open access, invite people to come, one thing that we learned and that we've discussed in our post-Math Academy conversations is that we also have to do more intentional recruitment of female students, of Black students, and Latinx students. Additionally, and importantly, the OIE study shows that female representation in STEM is still low compared to men. Black and Latinx students are also underrepresented. So as we move forward with this project, that's something that we really want to pay attention to, bring a lot of intentionality in terms of the recruitment of the students that we want to welcome into our program. So our next steps include discussing how the Math Academy can be tailored to serve students, again, who are Black, Latinx, female identified, and folks who need math refreshers. These efforts could be key in attracting more students into the STEM pathway. In addition, we also provided a survey for the families that participated in this program, and they also had some feedback for us, including increasing the number of classes that we offer, improving the supervision of the young people at our campus. I want to share a quote with you from a parent whose child participated in our middle school Math Academy. And that parent said, "Please continue to keep this program. It has been an invaluable experience for my child and a great service to the community in educating our youth." And again, as Dr. Suarez mentioned earlier, this was truly a team effort, from the folks in the different offices, our student workers, our administrators, our faculty who recruited other faculty, our faculty who work in middle schools that gave us a lot of insights into how we might structure this program. It was really a team effort with an understanding that it's never too late, but it's also never too early to join the PCC student body.
Having said that, one of the alternatives that we are looking at is perhaps partnering with the Pasadena Unified School District or finding a site where we can have this particular program at. We had it at CEC. It was great due to the support from the staff, but yes, it was challenging having middle schoolers at our side and adults. So we have to block the restrooms during a specific time so adults wouldn't come in. So, I mean, it has its challenges. Ultimately, it was very successful due to the collaboration from everyone. But yes, we definitely looking forward to expanding this program, but having it housed at a particular site for the safety of our students, but also just to continue expanding it. As I said, CEC, its spacing is limited, so taking these classrooms for Math Academy limits offering other classes such as ESL. Also, I want to thank Dr. Ramirez and Dr. Raquel Torres-Retana and her team on this particular venture of the Math Academy. They were very instrumental on getting it off the ground and launching it into the community. The other partnership I'd like to talk about is the Huntington Hospital, like I said before. We have about 50 students enrolled in 4 courses. They're very instrumental, they're communicative, they are looking forward to expanding their offerings. They want to offer Spanish for their executives or their team members that do not speak Spanish and want to learn the language. So that's another class they want to add into their repertoire. The other courses are the GED. We're looking forward to offering GED online through Zoom because a lot of their students are interested in taking the GED. They may be interested in high school, so we're working with them to transition them to the high school diploma program. However, most of them are interested in GED, but they want an online option. So that program is coming through the curriculum pipeline as we speak. Also, I want to share a quote from these are pictures that were taken. On your left-hand side, there is a picture of when we launched the program. Faculty and staff and administration went to the site and assisted students with the registration and completing the online application. And on the picture on the right, the Huntington Hospital invited us to celebrate their students' success or milestone of completing the courses, and they receive a certificate of participation of the course. We hope that these students will continue in the spring semester so they can earn a chancellor's approved certificate from the college, so they get a Pasadena City College certificate. One of the quotes that I want to share from the students participating on this program, it says, "I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for this learning opportunity. I promise to continue studying and preparing myself." And another student thanked the Huntington Hospital for working to increase the education level of employees and for recognizing us for completing our first semester. These are students that if we wouldn't have the courses at that site, perhaps their access to these educational opportunities would be very limited. Community visibility. Once again, this was quite a challenge. When I write to PCC, we needed to increase our visibility, not only on campus, but in the community. So it was instrumental for us to participate in as many events as we could in the community and on site. So based on that, we continue collaborating with some of the departments here at the Colorado campus to participate on the events. And to talk about that, we'll be our director of student services who has been charged of managing and coordinating these events on our site.
So as you can see, community is literally everything that we do, right? So a large part of that is also making sure that the students that are here feel that they are part of the PCC community, and also ensuring that our Colorado campus and our CEC are in that same community with one another. So we've been working really hard to collaborate with one another, make sure that it's as seamless and we are all on the same team, right? So part of that too is to recognize the needs that our students have, that there might be gaps in what that is. So bringing resources as much as we can to the CEC campus. Last year, we had a PETA actually reach out to us and say, hey, you know, it'd be really great if we offered a resource fair of all the academic options that students have when they transition over to credit, and also brought a lot of student services. And that kind of kicked off a lot of the fairs that we've been having. This current semester, sorry, the first event that we had was actually the first ever seasonal and part-time job fair that was open to both credit and non-credit students as well as the community. We had 419 students participate, or people participate. It was a collaboration with the Friedman Center. Transportation did shuttle specifically for that event. And then we were able to recreate it again for a health job fair. the health and job fair, and that we had 177 students participate for jobs specific to healthcare careers. Just yesterday, we wrapped up a health fair. So that one is actually recognizing that a lot of our non-credit students actually don't have access to health services on campus quite yet. We are working on that to ensure that students get access to any type of healthcare services that that are available to students. We currently have Chap Care actually come out every two Tuesdays a month to help students register for health insurance. We administered over 70 vaccines yesterday for the flu, which is the highest that has ever been at our campus. And we had about 120 students actually participate in the fair, just getting information about resources. That's just kind of like a snapshot of big fairs, but there's also little ways that we've been just better at making bridges with one another. So also this week, as it is Undocumented Student Action Week, we had workshops specifically for non-credit students to make sure that they were aware of the pathways that they have and how they can leverage non-credit coursework to establish AB 540 status. And that was a collaboration with the Dream Resource Center as well as Admissions and Records. So we've been working really diligently to make sure that we're in every aspect. When we talked about outreach, we've been working closely with the outreach team, and now they're actually helping us with the registration help. We've had Associated Students come to our campus, plan events as well. We're expanding our DSPS services, so our students have a large need in terms of testing accommodations or other accommodations. So now we have testing proctoring now happening. We have our DSPS success coaches also now available twice a week. And we're working with Admissions and Records to kind of make sure that all of our processes are as seamless as possible as students transition into credit coursework. So there's a lot of collaboration that's currently happening, and we're really excited with the endless ways that we can collaborate with the Colorado campus, with endless thanks to our student services team, as well as our Dream Resource team, and really everyone, because like I said, it takes the entire community to make this possible.
The next slide I'd like to share is just the marketing campaign. So we have had a couple of marketing campaigns that facilitated some of the enrollment that we have experienced. These are just a few of the artifacts that were put out in the community. We have billboards, we send postcards, a picture of our staff members being at the table distributing information to our potential students, as well as banners. We're gonna have banners at our site, because besides offering a academic opportunities to our students, we want to really plant the seed of sense of belonging. We want them to know that they're part of the PCC district. They're not just because they're taking on credit and they're off-site, that means that they're a different type of student. They're PCC students. So we are working on really planting the seed of sense of belonging to our students. We open our student lounge as well. We're going to have wraparounds on the windows that we're waiting to be placed at, but we have the student lounge where students now they have the opportunity to chat with their friends, just unwind from their courses. And that's not only for non-credit students, but also the credit students that we have at the site, cosmetology and health sciences. So these are just some of the artifacts that has been possible to the marketing team. I do want to thank the marketing department here at the Colorado campus for being flexible and accessible on our ideas and be able to support us on getting these marketing campaigns out in the community. This is a special mentions of some of the people that have been instrumental on getting us where we at right now. Like we said before, and we continue to say it, this is a collective effort. It's not a one person or two individuals effort, it's everyone's effort. So these are some of the individuals that we have collaborated with, have made possible some of the growth that we have experienced in our department. Now, where are we going? We still continue to work, right? Work never ends. So there's a few things where we're going. One of the things that we are embarking are the apprenticeships. We are going to have a couple of non-credit apprenticeships because the state gave us funds to plan a couple of apprenticeships. So we're collaborating with the CTE dean and a health science dean as well. We are, our curriculum is going through the approval process to be able to offer the high school equivalency, the HiSET or the GED online. Also, we are updating some of our ESL and parenting curriculum that's going through the process as well. The non-credit math courses, we are collaborating with the math department here to develop non-credit math courses to support their students as well at the Colorado campus. We're partnering with our consortium, which is Temple Adult School and Twilight Adult School in Pasadena. They're our partners of the Adult Education Consortium. We're partnering with them to establish healthcare pathways for English language learners We have some funds that the state has provided to us. And we're going to continue working together collectively as a group, faculty and staff and administration, on enhancing our marketing efforts to continue reaching out to the community. It's very important that we continue that and we continue creating visibility for our programs in the community. And with that, I want to leave you with our graduation, high school graduation from last year. I think this is just a great way to finish this presentation. Really, this is what it's all about. Seeing our students succeed, seeing our students receive their high school diploma. Last year, we had our first formal graduation. We're going to have it again this year. We'll send an invitation for everyone to attend. But it was, I think it was a very rewarding experience, seeing the students, seeing the children or grandparents being there receiving their high school diploma. So with that, our presentation is completed.
A question from Trustee Wayne?
Thank you for the presentation, Dean Suarez, and to your team. It was an excellent, really informative presentation. Earlier in the presentation, you talked about the demand for the ESL courses, and that a lot of that demand is in-person classes. Actually, is that true across the different programs? Is it particularly the ESL courses that people have wanted to be in person? Like, and I'm not going to ask for numbers necessarily, but like, you know, is it just somehow different from the other demands?
Yes. For the most part, the ESL students want to come in person and take the courses, but we do see a shift on our high school diploma program in which students, for the most part, rather have an online class than an in-person class. So yes, the ESL is the most demanding program, and yes, most of the students do want to take in person. They feel that learning a language in person, it facilitates a better learning experience than having it through Zoom. And if we put ourselves in the students' shoes, probably will be the same for us, maybe. Yeah. If you want to learn a new language, you prefer to have the instructor there in front of you, ask questions rather than being online. High school, and the way we are mitigating that situation is that we're working collectively with the department chairs in their own departments to really try to compromise and be able to stack their classes, because they have rooms that they all share. So we try to utilize every single time available to schedule a class, even if it's once a week or twice a week.
So sorry.
Go ahead.
Following up on that note, because then you also mentioned about how, you're scheduling some courses here on the Colorado campus, which, great, but it begs the question for me, what are the kind of spacing demands that y'all have on the CEC side? Like, how many additional classes do you guys have to end up that aren't able to be accommodated, thank you, at CEC? Not to say that we don't want folks to come to Colorado, but what are the spacing demands that you guys need?
This is a double-edged sword. This is why, because for the most part is a spacing issue, but it also working the other way around. The courses that we tend to schedule at the Colorado campus at the higher level, and the reason being is because we want to expose them to the college environment so they can transition, right? So we schedule the class here on site. And because of that, they get to expose to the culture of the college, so they're don't experience such a culture shock when they transition to the college. So that's one of the things that we mitigate at higher levels. We transition over, but at CEC, obviously the demand is quite high, so we tend to schedule more Zoom classes. If there's a demand for instance, pronunciation class, we will offer it online instead of in the classroom, face to face, because of that limitation.
Thank you.
Trustee Gibson?
Yes, thank you so much for the presentation. I'm so pleased to see a spotlight on non-credit. It's really, I love to see it lifted up and seen by everybody. I'm actually going to ask the question that Trustee Alton didn't ask. The percentages, rough idea of online versus in-person?
I would venture to say that it's about 63% in person as compared to online.
Thank you very much, and wonderful presentation.
Yeah, and also depends on the program. Like I said, high school will be the other way around, but ESL will be mostly in person. Currently, we're trying to reach about, I think in the spring semester, we may be offering about 300 sections of non-credit. So that's another growth that we have experienced as compared to about 100 or so when I first arrived.
Thank you very much. Excellent.
So the feedback I received from the South Pasadena Unified School District when you implemented the non-credit math course was that they had a very overwhelmingly positive response. And they had expressed to me that they would like you to come back for the non-credit math course. I also received feedback from the city of South Pasadena. I know that you're offering sewing classes to the seniors, and they recently conducted their own survey, and they want more of you. And they want more non-credit classes for our senior citizens in the city, and they made that very clear to me. And so the non-credit division is quite popular. So thank you very much for all your hard work.
Thank you for that.
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you. I have a comment and a suggestion. First of all, on your presentation, I really appreciated taking all of those numbers and putting it in a graphical form. A picture's worth 1,000 words. I would ask that when we look at year-to-year comparisons, that we go back about 2 or 3 years pre-COVID, because those COVID years were so anomalous from the others. When those are our base years and then we're comparing to that, it's hard to get some context. The second thought that I would suggest is the Middle School Math Academy, that it's wonderful that we're doing that. And what we learned at PCC Northwest at Muir, if you can get embedded on campus so those students can go directly from their high school campus to PCC, the results and the participation goes way up. And I think that would be even more so for middle school students who obviously don't have access to transportation themselves. And their parents would probably appreciate that as well. That's a long slog, and it takes a lot of cooperation with our K-12 partners to get to that end result. But if you could get embedded, I think you would have increased participation.
Absolutely. And that was our first attempt of having the courses at the school sites to facilitate that. Exactly.
Yeah.
It just, take a lot more conversations to get that, but definitely that's on the radar to really embed the courses at the middle schools. It would just be the most effective way. So students, in case they live in that area, they can just walk over or be dropped off. But yeah, that's on the radar. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And in regards to the COVID years, based on the dashboard that is on our website, I can tell that before COVID, we had about a headcount of 3875 a non-credit. And right now, we're about 3499, and it's only the fall semester. So it's very likely that even prior to COVID, this year, we're going to surpass those numbers.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
That's a terrific job. Thank you so much. What would your suggestion be for the trustees to be able to help you in reaching out to communities, because we're all in various districts, whether it's to contact, the school districts or other school board members? What do you think we can do to further support what you're doing?
Buy us a new building.
Well, we do have the bond campaign. We do have the bond program, okay?
No, but on a serious note, I think that the more the merrier. You're in your own areas that you represent. So creating those contacts for us will be great. Facilitating the additional partnerships on your site will be amazing. I think that will be the integral part of this, just collaborating and really expanding in the community. Like I said, I believe non-credit is here to serve the community. And we could serve our own site, but I think it's most important to go in and embed ourselves in the community. So I think that just looking into different partnerships or adding additional partnerships within the areas that you represent will go a long way.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. All right. Item number L1, announcements by shared government groups. We'll start here on my left. Trustee Bradley.
I wanted to say congratulations and thank you for the information for not only presentations of Hispanic Heritage Month, but also the non-credit presentation. That was excellent information. and it's really valuable to always hear so much information and data about students who are from such different backgrounds, from all different age backgrounds as well. I wanted to send a congratulations, although he's not present because he had a class. Congratulations to our new Associated Students President, Wayne Schroeder. I'm really excited to work with him and have him here on the Board of Trustees. I wanted to say that I'm extremely eager to work for the Student Trustee Advisory Committee for the Association of Community College Trustees. Working on a national level as a student trustee is something that myself years ago would never dream of doing. So it's a huge passion of mine, and I'm really excited to get started on that. So thank you for that. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Great. Let's go with the associate students.
First and foremost, there's a very sad update in which I've been replaced, and I know I'll be missed here, so I'm kidding. As you know, we have elected our new president. His passion for leadership is truly remarkable. He's hitting the ground running with all this responsibility, and even with his extensive academic responsibility, he is still there. Wayne would like to personally convey all this update, but currently he's in a midterm, so I'll be delivering this on his behalf. We made some excellent appointment to our new team. Sky Lam and Irene Wong has been appointed and sworn in as our new Vice President of Academic Affairs and Supreme Justice respectively. Their dedication to their role is nothing short of inspiring, and we're excited to see their contribution. Now let's talk about what's happening on our campus. Our Vice President of Campus Activities, Alden, recently made an incredibly successful movie night featuring the film Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is a very popular movie, which had an amazing turnout. As we find ourselves approaching to the midpoint of our semester, Alden is also gearing up for another special event, which you might already know as Homecoming. It's going to be an entire week of excitement from October 31st to November 4th, with a big game taking place on Saturday. If you want some pizza and a shot of winning our limited edition Trick or Treat Lancerlot tote bag, and I swear it was really cute, you don't want to miss it. In addition to Homecoming, we got a pep rally and a Met Gala to look forward to. And don't forget to mark your calendar for the Day of the Dead on November 1st, hosted by our Vice President of Student Equity, Ella. And it is a meaningful occasion, and your support will be greatly appreciated. Our Vice President of Student Services is in the final stage of planning CDC Trick or Treat. And if you're looking for a heartwarming experience with cute little kids, this is the place to be. Lastly, all our VPs have been starting meetings with their committee and are planning more exciting, amazing events for our students. And that concludes my report. Thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you. Mr. Bowl.
Good evening. Since the last Board of Trustees meeting, we have appointed 4 new folks to our classified Senate group. So we do continue to grow and continue to increase our representation of classified staff from all areas, including facilities and skilled trades. Last Wednesday, we had our classified Senate fall general meeting. We had really good attendance. I think we had somewhere around 75 classified staff that were able to show up, spend some time with us. We had a nacho bar, which I think President Gomez was pretty excited about. And today we were able to actually hold a vote on 2 APs and 1 BP, so hopefully those can move forward for next steps. We're really focused this year on giving everyone who is interested a chance to get involved in different ways. And we have filled virtually all vacancies on all standing committees to make sure PCC staff have that voice and that vote and shared governance. And overall, just fostering an environment of participation among our classified staff. And we're also working closely with the Office of Human Resources and the Office of Professional and Organizational Development to review both our hiring and onboarding practices to further the college's goal of creating a more equitable workplace. And that concludes my report.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Kumar.
Hi, good evening. First off, the MA would like to welcome to PCC Roberto Emmerich as the new maintenance supervisor in facilities. We'd like to give a shout out to Dean Veronica Jaramillo for helping to organize the viewing of the solar eclipse last Saturday at PCC. Also a shout out to Angie Alvarez, Tito Altamirano, and Tamika Alexander for helping to organize the HBCU caravan taking place on October 24th in the Quad. Another shout out to Leslie Thompson of the Freeman Center for her work in helping to organize the Future of Work event on October 26th. And lastly, I would like to thank our Director of Student Health Services, Mindy Throop, for her service to PCC over the past few years. Mindy will be leaving PCC at the end of the month and has been a great asset to our Student Health Center and beyond, and we would like to wish her luck in her future endeavors. Thank you.
Dr. Lopez?
Hello, everyone. The Academic Senate is back in session, yay! And this is my last year as Academic Senate President. The faculty at PCC is focusing on our Liberation Through Education campaign with the Office of Instruction. Thank you, Dr. Ramirez. This effort includes a component called PCC Ed Talks that allows faculty to present on what liberation means to them in regards to student success. We are also working with a celebrated PCC alum who is a photographer to create a visual representation to be displayed in all classrooms for students to see and understand what liberation means and what they can expect from faculty. On another note, I do find it that it's disturbing to me that as an elected leader of the faculty, that some trustees are still giving ear to rogue faculty members that have not contributed to the efforts towards student success and do not represent those majority of faculty who are working daily to make PCC a better place for our students. I hope that you reach out to other faculty for a different perspective on issues, or you can even talk to me. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Osterling.
Thank you. I had the pleasure to attend 2 PCC events last week. The Jack Scott building dedication. Most of us in this room know who Jack is, but for those on YouTube or who don't, he served as our superintendent CEO. He went on from there to serve in the state assembly, the state senate. And after he did all of that, he became the chancellor of the statewide community college system. And he certainly could have retired in honor at that point in time, but he had such a great affinity for PCC. He came back and started to serve on the PCC Foundation, which he still does to this day at the ripe young age of 90. And those of us that are watching the Serafian building go up, we owe a great debt of gratitude to Dr. Scott, because it was his lobbying efforts up in Sacramento that got the funding restored for that building so we could build it. So a well-deserved honor to former Superintendent Dr. Jack Scott. And secondly, I attended a PCC Hometown Legends series last week. This was about the Mars Project, and the presentation was by Robert Hogg. He's a PCC alum, and the presentation itself was very informative and amazing. These vehicles that they're guiding around on the surface of Mars, doing research and taking photos and bringing them back, etc. But what I was really impressed with was part of his presentation was he was, in his own words, kind of drifted after high school, didn't immediately apply himself, got connected to PCC, and he showed 4 or 5 slides of the professors that inspired him to graduate from PCC, go on to UCLA and advanced degrees, and now running this important project right here for JPL. And then finally, again, also congrats to new AS President Wayne, and good luck on your midterm. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Martin.
With your permission, I'm going to go to the might suspect I'm not going to be my traditional short self on this. I first became aware of Pasadena City College while attending my high school, Rio Hondo Prep. And I bring that up because the counselor there recommended Pasadena City College to me. But Rio Hondo Prep is a very unusual school. And one of the things that's unusual about it is its alma mater. Now, school alma maters are supposed to hail glory and allegiance to the school. They are supposed to, sing dedication and commitment to the school? Well, Rio Hondo Prep's alma mater does not sing any hail to Rio Hondo Prep. It doesn't clamor or ask for any dedication to the school. In fact, the school is not even named at all. And that's because the alma mater for Rio Hondo Prep is a hymn. And that hymn is called A Charge to Keep, written by Charles Wesley. And basically the center of that charge to keep in that hymn is first and foremost that we have a God to glorify, and second, that we are supposed to serve the present age. I've tried to make a charge to keep the center of my life, my entire life. I have tried to live first and foremost in everything that I do to glorify God, and secondly, to serve the present age. 44 years ago, I had an opportunity to join the Board of Trustees in 1979, and during that entire tenure in that position, I have endeavored to serve Pasadena City College District in the same charge to keep that I've tried to live my entire life. Specifically, that means that I've tried to make principle-centered decisions above politics or personal gain. I've tried to be reasonable. I've tried to listen to every side on every decision and try to do what's in the best interest of the district. The wisest man that ever lived wrote in Ecclesiastes that there's a time for everything under heaven. Later on, he gives us many little examples of that, but one of those is there's a time to keep and a time to let go. I feel like since 1979, one of my charges that I've been fortunate to keep has been as a member of the Board of Trustees at Pasadena City College. But after prayerful consideration, I now believe that there's coming a day shortly where there will be a time for me to let go of that position. This was a long way of telling you, because I actually had your attention, that after prayerful consideration, I will not be running for re-election for District 6 at Pasadena City College. By the way, I was the very first person ever elected to District 6 at Pasadena City College, so I've kind of had a monopoly on it for quite some time, and as the tremendous trustee Walter Shafford once said, when I asked him why he wasn't running for re-election, he said he didn't want to make it a habit. And so in some ways, I might jokingly say I don't want to make it a habit. I do want to say that I plan and have every intention in my life to live a charge to keep in whatever capacity that is going forward. But it just won't be in the capacity of being on the Board of Trustees. Thank you.
It's very difficult to follow that announcement, but let me just say that regardless of whether we agreed politically or not, John has always been very consistent with his values and his integrity. And I think that after 4 decades of service to PCC, while this is the first time that we've heard him announce that he is not running for election, that there will be a more appropriate time to celebrate his service and to acknowledge his contributions to PCC. Thank you so much, John, for your leadership and for your dedication and commitment to PCC all these years. I know that your family would probably want you back from attending all these special meetings, and but certainly we still have several months with you, and we know that we will continue to learn from you and follow your leadership and your diplomacy. So thank you very much, John.
Also not sure how to follow that. I want to begin by, of course, thanking Trustee Martin for his leadership, and certainly no one on this board understands this college's budget and finances better than John does. And every question that I've ever seen him ask in our committee meetings have always been questions I sometimes didn't know how to ask or didn't know where to begin asking. And that's always been a very fruitful and certainly productive part of all of our discussions. So thank you, John, and thank you for your service.
Hey, look at guys, this is supposed to be about me.
We can't.
Just keep
It's
going on.
hard to not.
What did you expect when you go up there and make your
Maybe you'll change your mind.
I know filing is not, it's not done until November.
But I certainly also want to recognize the work that has taken place on this campus over the last many weeks for Latina Heritage Month. It's been an incredible journey to see and participate in some of these events, you know, including the festival that took place in front of City Hall after the parade, the student and staff mixer. I want to thank, Ernesto for the presentation earlier, but thank LA Puente Project, Student Advisory Kipo for all of the work that goes into all of that programming that we were able to witness and for our campus community to participate in. So thank you all very much. I feel like a lot has happened on campus, certainly, now that we are in the swing of the semester. And so it was great to also participate. Speaking of the CEC, the job fair that took place a few weeks ago, it was great to see so many students and community members across the quad there to really engage and learn about opportunities. That same day here on the Colorado campus with our club rush that AFPCC put on, which was a massive feat. It was really exciting to have someone come up to me in the middle of the club rush asking me, so where is this job fair? How do I get there? I'm like, oh, you know what? There's actually a shuttle that we are running right now. So that kind of engagement by students and the fact that I wasn't even able to walk through the quad during the club rush was exciting to have that energy back on campus. Certainly also want to echo the dedication of the Jack Scott Building and to thank Dr. Scott, Chancellor Scott, Superintendent Scott, Senator Scott, whichever one of the many titles he has held in leadership in our communities, to thank him for his work. And I just want to close really quickly with some community ongoings that has happened over the last few weeks. I represent part of the city of Temple City. It's the city that I grew up in, and that city also just hit its centennial this year. And so they did a little centennial celebration in front of City Hall at Temple City Park, and it was incredible to see the community turn out for that community, a very strong and unique community that I'm proud to have called home. And certainly was incredible to also, in the other part of my district, to participate in celebrating the Moon Festival that took place a few weeks ago in the city of Arcadia, where the city, in partnership with our Chinese Association, was able to put on the first Moon Festival in quite some time in front of City Hall. And so participating in these community events and seeing the people that come up to talk to me about PCC is always exciting and sometimes even unexpected, as my mouth is full of a mooncake and someone wants to come talk to me about the classes they're taking. But I wanted to thank those communities and their councils for their work. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Okay, great. Thank you, Trustee Martin. We value your service. We thank you for your remarks. It's very refreshing to hear that in the act of public service, you set your priorities straight. I had the opportunity to meet with Jack Scott prior to the event. I met with him for several hours, and he basically said that as an elected official, you need to move with a compelling set of core values, to be cause-oriented, to always do the just thing, to embrace mercy, to walk humbly, and to know what your calling is. And I believe that, Trustee Martin, you embrace that and you embody that. You chase after the light. The light has followed you. And the light has opened many opportunities for you to change people's lives for the better. And you've put that cause first, and you moved with a compelling set of core principles that has made you the defining characteristic of your public service. So we thank you. And I'm sure there'll be many opportunities for which we will continue to thank you for your service. I met with Temple City Unified School District. They had the State of their District address. They thanked PCC with the board for our partnership, and they were interested in receiving some help and assistance and some creating pathways for enrollment, which I've spoken to Dr. Gomez about. I also met with the City of South Pasadena, as you heard in the non-credit program. The non-credit division is in the City of South Pasadena providing courses to the senior citizens. And they really, really love it. They enjoy it. They did their own personal survey of what they would like PCC to offer more of. And so I think we will be reaching out to them to see what we can offer. So as we head towards the end of the year and we head towards January 1st, there's the Rose Bowl. And our maestro, Kyle Luck, has now secured his students for the PCC Honor Band. He did me the favor of going directly to the high schools at South Pasadena and San Marino to recruit students. And the recruitment efforts paid off because we have 2 students from San Marino High School, a sophomore and a junior. One of them will be playing with the Herald Trumpeters, which is a very highly coveted and prestigious section. And from South Pasadena, we have a fresh woman, and she's a flautist, and she also auditioned. And so to have a 9th grader representing us at the Rose Parade will be quite an honor. And that's my report. Trustee Gibson.
Yes, I want to give greetings to the new student president and wish him the best on his midterm. I want to thank Trustee Martin for all of his work and look forward to continue working for the remaining time, and know that we'll have do great work together. I want to thank all the staff and people who worked on the Latinay activities this past month. I also enjoyed the festival and parade activities at Pasadena City. And so I want to thank all the ones who worked on that so hard and all the activities. I'm very excited to have volunteering with the African American Parents Council of PUSD and being given the opportunity to volunteer at the elementary school level and teach math to elementary students as a volunteer with that council. And I want to show some appreciation for the Freeman Center. I attended a webinar on it was on ChatGPT, NFTs, and AI, and it was very informative, and it's great as a part of their entrepreneurship series. So it was very good for business people and entrepreneurs to learn new skills. So I really enjoyed it, and I think it was very informative. So I really wanted to thank the Freeman Center for that. That concludes my presentation.
Great, thank you. Trustee Silver.
Okay, John, you still have 5 months, so I will say that your grasp of finance has served this college very well. You advocated for moving money out of the county's auspices to earn higher but safe returns, which goes into our budget, and you've made other changes that have materially improved our college. So thank you so much. But you're not missed yet. I attended the ACCT conference, the Association of Community College Trustees, and I went to so many wonderful sessions. I'm going to choose just three to talk about because I learned so much. One was an all-day workshop called Achieving the Dream, Level Up, Realizing Black Learner Excellence, and really focusing on male Black learners. And some of the things they talked about is be unapologetic about the support for our Black learners. Black learners are more likely to be in community colleges than in four-year colleges, and many who are in four-year colleges started in community colleges. We are the foundation of their of improving their educational opportunities, and we have to be intentional about our support. There are all kinds of, I took so many notes, and I just want to tell somebody, but I won't tell all you right now. But there are many things that we are already doing. So proud of PCC, what we do to support Black learners. Always there's more to do, more to learn. Some of the things I'm not sure that we do. One idea, ensure that all newly hired employees have the capacity necessary to serve Black learners equitably and responsibly. And that's just something to consider when onboarding, that's a part of the onboarding. Distressing statistic is the disappearance of Black men who are not working. They're not showing up in statistics in educational institutions or in work. And the, where have they gone? So Dr. Keith Curry of Compton College ran a study, and those were his findings. But what he didn't find is what is happening to these Black men who could be working in or in our colleges. Another distressing statistic is 30% of for-profit colleges, their student body are Black learners, and that's really a pity. I think the slick advertising is swaying minds, and the community college system as a whole in California really has to message much better that we offer excellent education at a fraction of the price. And that's an area where we can improve. I attended, there was a panel on career training education. But within that, there was a fellow from a company who spoke about the Inflation Reduction Act and how many billions of dollars have been allocated and that can be used for campus upgrades and modernization. He in particular was from a company called Trane, T-R-A-N-E, that does HVAC systems, and he said they work with campuses to get 50% of HVAC systems paid for by the federal government through this fund. So maybe we can get some funding, and then all those dollars that the federal government supports will just go into more campus facilities, which would be awesome. And the last seminar I'm going to talk about was presented by Kern County Community College District. They have a program pathway mapper that is fabulous. We are almost there. We have so close to this pathway, but it's optimized for phones, and many students do not use laptops. They're on their phones. It's software developed by the Chancellor's office, and all we have to do is drop in the data, mapping the path if you're interested in a business degree or psychology or computer science, and it's so clear in what classes you need to take. So I'd like to present that. I thought it was awesome. I also on Monday attended Assemblymember Mike Fong did an oversight hearing on higher education at East LA Community College, where he listened to people in the community college sphere speak on 3 different topics, giving the assembly member ideas of things that our state can do better to support our community colleges. One panel was on enrollment. One panel was on career and technical education, and one panel was on baccalaureate degrees. And I think that he's a real advocate for our community college system, having come from LACCD, and I know he wants to continue to support us. And the last thing I have to say is a phone call that I had today that reminds us all of the power of our community colleges. I've been knocking on doors, and I got an email over the weekend from a dad who said, "I'm so sorry, I was feeling sick, you spoke to my son and I couldn't speak to you, but I really have a story I want to tell you. Please call." So I talked to him today, and he said he had a son that they were very worried about. This can happen as parents. You have a child and you just are worried about the path that they're taking. And this son was drifting, not doing well in school, drifting after high school. They just didn't know where he would end up. He enrolled in PCC thinking he would go into computer science, because of course, computer science, everybody wants to do that. But it didn't click with him, and somehow he found his way into our welding department. And in that welding department, he found, shall I say, a spark that interested him, and it was everything. He had an excellent professor. I'm going to name her Misty Henry, who he said this professor supported his son, and he really thinks helped to save his life. His son learned welding skills here, became an apprentice at I believe it's the Iron Workers Union. I'm not sure if that's the correct name. He worked on our Seraphian building and is right now working at the Transportation Center at LAX, and fully intends to continue to become a journeyman and continue through the union, earning good wages and doing something he's passionate about. So PCC changes lives. That concludes my report.
That's nice. Thank you so much. Okay. Any future board business meeting dates for amendments, revision? Okay. Any proposed future agenda items? Okay, great. Anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Pardon me, future agenda items, following up on Trustee Chen Lau's comments from earlier, I would suggest we have an agenda item for our policy board, and then perhaps present it to the full board on her suggestion about the election cycle being held either on the primary or the general election.
Okay. All right. We can note that for November. Okay, very good. Anything else? Very good. And can we get a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Adjourn.